Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I'm Martin Kinnear, and this is my show, Regeneration. Regeneration is a show about possibility and change. In early life, I went from being a completely normal working man into a disabled man overnight, and I'm very familiar with the challenges of change and sudden change. And what I wanted to do through my art is perhaps explore how change can be used to examine what you really want in life and change your attitudes to life. And Regeneration, my show, is about that. Do I have a favorite piece of work in the show? The painting one is working on is always your favorite painting. But looking at the works around me, I think perhaps this piece here, this triptych, which is called We Are Building a New World, might be my personal favorites. It's all about regeneration of the north of England, how we can take this amazing region, which I adore, and make it into the place we really want it to be. I never paint from photographs, I paint from memories. And Pandemonium, which is this huge triptych of a mills, if you will, is painted entirely from my memories of my part of the world, the northwest of England. It's mills, it's canals, it's totemic chimneys. It's a painting about childhood memory, about the fire of industry, and about faith. Oh, the Lethe triptych. Lethe is the river that the dead drank from. This is cheerful, bear with me. The dead drank from to forget their lives and move on to new things. And in a way, the secret of managing change is to do that. Is to forget what you were, forget what you did, and adapt to those new circumstances. When I suddenly became disabled, the best piece of advice I ever got was don't try to do what you used to do. Try and be who you are now. And that perhaps is the most important revelation for me from the pandemic. The world has changed. We have changed with it. And whatever the new normal is, we have to make it the best normal we can and be the best people we can from it. And Lethe is about that. It's about forgetting one's past and becoming the best version of you can be. Painting, I think, has to ask, not tell. And I try really hard in my work never to insist upon a reading, to paint details. I try and put something in front of you, the viewer, that I hope will chime with your experiences, with your emotions, with your memories. And the lack of detail in my work is intended to ask you rather than tell you what's there. All of these pictures aren't of things, they're about things. They're about change, they're about life, they're about love, they're about beauty, they're about loss. And those are things we can all experience and all understand. And hopefully when you see my work, it will stimulate those questions, those feelings within you. Pieta of the North is actually a picture, as all Pietas are, they're works about self-sacrifice. They're works about loss becoming gain. As Mary lost her son, we gained the Saviour. A Pieta is a very sad picture. It's a very thoughtful picture. It's a very thoughtful image, but it's actually a very hopeful image. And I think the lesson of the pandemic, I remember the Chancellor saying this, we will all ask ourselves at the end of it, how did we deal with it? What sort of people are we? What did it reveal to us about our characters? And the Pieta is about that. It's about becoming the best person you can be through the crucible of sacrifice. Yes, the word fall is a departure. Actually, I'm really a painter and a writer, but I never considered doing animation. I went to the Fall of the Tees, which is quite close to the museum here, and I had quite a profound experience. The way the water fell, the noise it made, while the place was busy, suddenly I felt alone. I was wrapped around with the noise of the place. And within that sound of falling water, I really felt as though I could experience myself as well as the view. Being alone with yourself is one of the great lessons of the pandemics. When the world stops and the quiet comes down, that can be quite a difficult place to be. And finding yourself alone with yourself and being able to ask yourself difficult questions is one of the themes this show is about. The animation itself is 4 or 5 meters high. It's actually a fall of, I want to create a fall of, if you will, verbiage and thoughts. All the random words that flow into your head, and you might catch snatches of music behind it. I wanted to replicate what was in my head at the time I was at the falls. Will it work? Please tell me. I have no idea. It works for me. I hope it works for you. Does it feel now I'm back in the north? I think we all come home. It's taken me 30 years to come just 20 miles down the road. My place in the world is the northwest. I love the north. The north to me is, it's where I'm from. It's where my ideas, my personality, my values were born. And I think we all come home, don't we? What did my stroke feel like? Well, it felt like the end of the world, because I went from being completely able-bodied to in a wheelchair and blind. And these things happen instantly. Unfortunately, recovering from a stroke, which is very slow and very partial, is not an instant thing. And it forced me to consider who I was, what I had left, and what I wanted to do with what I had left. There's a wonderful old saying, is that we all have 2 lives, but the second one only begins when you realize you just have the one. And I think the stroke was the start of my second life, the start of my thinking, come on, Martin, who are you? What do you want to be? What do you want to leave on this world? And that really encouraged me to become a painter, to become an artist, and to really explore what I could do. For me, having a stroke was a crucible. All artists need a crucible through which their work is formed. Mine was a stroke, mine was disability, and this show is a reflection of that.